As dawn's light gently brushes the world, Eric and Darrell awaken, their spirits stirred by an ancient echo that dances through time.
Find the Arkenstone.
Eric, did you hear it too? The voice.
Yeah, find the Arkenstone. What does that mean?
In the hallowed halls of knowledge, a revelation awaits.
Eric, come here.
Yeah, what'd you find?
The Arkenstone. It's real.
No way.
Yes way. Let's go get it.
We're in a car. We're heading to the airport, and we're going to fly to Denver, Colorado, in search of the Arkenstone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Adventure.
Onward they journey through the embrace of nature's realm. With every stride, Eric and Darrell journey deeper into the unknown, their passage marked by a melody that grows in fervor and clarity. A guiding beacon in their quest for the Arkenstone. As they traverse the mountain's final descent, Eric and Darrell behold the quaint village of Idaho Springs, emerging like a hidden jewel in the valley. Its rooftops, a tapestry woven into the very fabric of the landscape. In this harmonious enclave, hope blossoms anew, for here, the sought-after Arkenstone, the treasure of ages, might finally be within their grasp.
Oh, there's a coffee shop. Maybe the Arkenstone's in there?
I could use a coffee.
Yeah, let's check it out.
And then they arrive.
We found it! We found the Arkenstone!
As the journey reaches its zenith, Eric and Darrell discover the Arkenstone not as a gem, but as a man. David Arkenstone, the minstrel whose songs shaped their journey. A meeting of minds is at hand as they seek to uncover the mysteries of his music.
Hi, David.
Hi, guys.
Thanks for having us today.
It's a pleasure, of course.
So I don't know how much you know about Eric and Darrell, but we have a long, long history with your music.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Eric, why don't you tell them the story?
So we met in 1988. We started using your music in videos that we made when we were
we were
kids.
stealing your music.
Cool. It's been done.
Because back then, we didn't have like stock music and stuff, and we were 12 years old. We couldn't afford
didn't
it
know any
anyway.
better.
That's amazing.
Right? And we're
Congratulations for doing that.
And we're
though.
like, this is the perfect music for really any situation. I mean, there's action, there's drama, there's all kinds of stuff. There's, sad moments, there's everything.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, this is the Holy Grail. How we found it in the first place was, I guess I was 12 years old, 1989, and my dad was playing a song in the car on a tape player, and I'm like, what is this? What is that? Oh, it's David Arkenstone. I need this. Can I borrow this tape, Dad? It was off the island, and it was the Island Road, the reggae track.
Yeah.
It had
Totally Ricky.
guitar. Tell us about that album.
It was a lot of fun doing that record. My brother lived in St. Thomas for a long time. Went to school there, so he was all about the reggae
island,
beat.
was
And
influencing
so
him.
I played this little sax riff, and he was like, "Oh, I got the perfect beat for that." I wanted the album to start with Nantucket.
That,
I love all that sort of Celtic stuff, and that was a chance to do something like that. The album to me is tied to the sounds that were available then. The Roland D50 had just come out, and it had this sounds like in ballet. Dee, 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 dee. I mean, it was so cool. It was writing itself because of that sound. You know, it really shaped a lot of what I wrote, because I could do so much more than a mini moog that plays one note at a time, which is what I had.
we met when we were 12. Like, what were you doing when you were 12?
Deciding I needed to play guitar as well as piano.
So you like grew up playing piano?
Yeah, I was playing piano.
Yeah.
And then the Beatles came along. It's like, okay, I gotta play that guitar. There's a picture of me and two of my brothers, and I have a shoebox that I put strings. And my grandparents had gone to Jamaica, like on vacation, and they brought back these spears. I don't know why, with these rubber tips, you know. So I took the spear head off and took the handle and stuffed it through a shoebox.
You made a neck of a guitar.
I made a guitar, and I gave my brother a guitar, and my little brother was probably 6 or 7 at the time. We had a couple oatmeal boxes, and he played Ringo's part, you know.
This is exactly what we were doing.
Tennis rackets are good too, but they're so short.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted the full length bass or whatever.
Rossi, starring on our program tonight, the Beatles. Now be sure. Well, come on, do it.
That Ed Sullivan performance changed my life. I know everybody says that, but I was like, 2 hours before, I was like, nobody touch this TV, don't change a channel, nothing. So I kind of commandeered it, and it was just amazing. I had already wanted to be a musician, but that was just like cemented it.
I didn't realize that you did music for World of Warcraft for so long. And I'm a big gamer. I've been playing World of Warcraft since 2004. And so much that I had a World of Warcraft podcast.
Wow.
I'm Brent Copeland. I'm Wes Wilson.
I'm Eric Fullerton.
And hello, I'm Darrell Hazelrig.
I got really into it, and I always loved the music. And sometimes I go to a different zone to do quests just because I really like that song. One year I go to BlizzCon, and I see you, and I was like,
wow.
My mind was blown.
Oh, this is day one of BlizzCon. I'm Eric, and this is Brent.
What year was that? Do you
2007, I think, 2007.
Right over here is BlizzCon.
And I had no idea, and I was like, wait, what's happening? And I had to grab the phone and call Darrell.
He calls me up,
believe this.
and he's like, Darrell, I'm in California, and I'm at a David Arkenstone concert. And I was like, what? How? What?
Sweet.
Awesome, so. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, those BlizzCons were kind of fun. Insane. I mean, the people there are just so into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like scary.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me hear it, BlizzCon! Yeah, for the Alliance! That's what I'm talking about.
A game like World of Warcraft obviously owes its legacy to Lord of the Rings. You have had a long-standing love of Tolkien's works.
For sure.
How did that come about?
I think just from reading the books at first. I wasn't a huge reader, but you know, you read 2 or 3 pages, it's like, whoa. I had no idea that existed.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of world. You know, the fantasy genre even. I mean, there wasn't much until that.
And did Did it immediately start influencing you?
Yeah, I think that had a big influence, especially when I got to In the Wake of the Wind. We had a map, we had a story.
Yeah, that was epic. Yeah,
epic is what it was, yeah. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. You know, that was just a fun tune. By then, I had 3 successful albums, so it was like, okay, well, now I want to do this concept album. Record company was like, okay. It was a very cool project, and that went really well. And that's when we started doing some gigs, some real gigs.
With rock and roll, like that's kind of the point, right? You release an album, then you go tour, but not really so with new age music. Were you always wanting to like take your stuff on the road?
Absolutely, yeah, I wanted to perform, but it, you know, as it is still today, it's expensive. You know, I remember in '88, I think we did the Neurotic Christmas album, and the artist named Tiffany. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
Tiffany, yeah.
I think we're alone now. It doesn't seem to be anyone around.
She had done a tour in malls.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They put us in like 10 malls all over the country.
To do the Christmas stuff?
Just our Christmas songs.
Okay, for around the Christmas
So
time.
I played some songs from the Christmas album and then a couple from Valley in the Clouds and a couple from Island that were not even released yet. We would end our set and go down, back then there were record stores in malls. And there was a line out the door to meet us, to buy the CD. But it was our first like real performance.
Man, I wish I would have seen that.
Big,
I know, right?
Giant malls, you know, and totally full of people. So it was, you know, you'd be playing and you look up at the second level and it's just covered
just
with people.
hovering around,
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wow. It was cool. It was a cool thing.
What was your favorite decade for music? Is that too hard?
I think the 60s was unbelievable. It would be late 60s. There was so much music and so many different kinds of bands and music that you could hear on the radio. And that dovetailed into the 70s, so maybe it's a decade, but it's not a decade.
Right,
It's
it's
10 years.
straddling. Yeah.
Because FM started in the early 70s. And then you had these DJs who could play whatever the hell they wanted to play. And they did, because people were listening. Plus the fidelity was like, wow, it's in stereo.
About 99% of the people we ask that, they always say 80s.
Yeah,
You know, but-
they're probably younger. I like a lot of 80s music, but I don't feel like the 80s was, like when you hear an 80s song, it's like, you know it's an 80s song. There was a lot of crossbreeding from the bands, and the singers sounded similar, you know, I think.
Right.
So it has a sound for sure. I have to mention Peter Gabriel because I'm obsessed with Peter Gabriel.
New album.
Yeah.
I was just listening to it.
I just saw him in San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
In your eyes, the light, the heat, I am complete.
But I thought So was the most amazing album I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
And it's still got, the songs are so great.
So music-wise, what is your guilty pleasure?
Can you define that a little bit?
Like, you know, you listen to some Spice Girls you don't want to talk about, or...
God, that's hard. I like, you know, my upbringing gave me such a love for all kinds of music. You know, I like lo-fi right now. I guess I'd call that a guilty pleasure.
Oh, that's cool.
I might even dabble in that because it's so cool.
Ooh, that'd be cool to hear what you come up with that. That's neat. Okay.
Might not be under my own name, but I want to try it.
What would you say is one of your favorite glam band, metal bands from the 80s?
Does Bon Jovi count?
Okay, yeah. Totally. Yeah.
But that's when I was trying to be a rock star in the 80s. Right. So maybe that's why it's not my favorite, because I never made that happen. I mean, we rehearsed and played a lot, but we never, you know, we're just inches from that record deal. You know, and we were a hair band, but it never connected, you know, and then by that time I had 2 small kids and we were rehearsing like 4 nights a week and I was painting houses. It was like, I don't know, you know, maybe, and it wasn't necessarily I wanted to give up on my music dream. It was just, this path is just freaking hard, you know?
Yeah.
Soon after, I kind of canned that band and decided to just concentrate on making music myself because now synthesizers and computers could talk to each other. So it was like orchestration started to become doable without hiring 20 string players. So I began to write better because I could hear all these things instead of, oh, here's the guitar part, here's the keyboard part.
So you've done like 80, I was reading the other day, 81?
Yeah, I think that's
studio
ballooned
albums?
up somehow.
Oh,
I don't think
okay.
it's quite 80.
But it's still, you've done
It's a lot. It's at least 60.
How do you stay so productive?
I guess I just love it. I love is the exploration.
Yeah.
You know, and what's going to happen today? You know, am I going to play guitar? Am I going to play piano? Am I going to play this keyboard sound? You know, I got some samples, new samples maybe that are good for my music. It's just I can't wait to get in the studio, and now I have my own studio on our property that I built because my whole career I've been in a bedroom. I mean, I started in a closet, but then I moved to the bedroom.
Yeah.
I got all my instruments on the wall. I got stands of keyboards. It's like a playground, you know, and it's still fun. Like my new album, Winterlude, I wanted to make a winter album for like 3 or 4 years because I just love it. Where I live, there's no winter. I grew up with winter outside of Chicago, and that's the winter I remember the most. When I decide and had the framework for the record, then I start getting really excited because, okay, here's something I want to illustrate, and then I try to get my palette together, you know. Okay, there's not going to be any electric guitar, there's not going to be any drums. You know, it's
interesting.
like focus on that kind of thing, so it's a cohesive thing.
So you make a conscious decision early on, okay, I'm going to use this color, this color, but not these.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
So you're essentially limiting yourself because limitation is creativity.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
cool.
a fun way to work.
Yeah.
You know, because I could do anything, really.
Yeah, with all of the like sounds you can download nowadays, we have the universe at our fingertips. And that can just drive you mad.
Yes, it's almost too many choices.
It's too many choices.
Yeah, but like the previous album, Music Inspired by Mental Earth, I felt I had gotten to a level where I could emulate the orchestra, and that was an exciting realization. When synths became a little bit more accurate, you know, chasing that sound, like even the sound that begins Sledgehammer, you know, that shakuhachi riff.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, everybody has that sound at their fingertips.
Right, yeah.
You know.
Eric grew up with a piano teaching mother, so he played piano pretty early on. I never grew up, well, that's not true. My father tried to get me to learn to play piano and I couldn't handle it. But after meeting him and going over to their house, they had a baby grand.
Nice.
And keyboards and stuff.
It's a great piano. Hi, I'll show you how good it is.
He had a Casio?
Yamaha.
It was this Yamaha. And it had those where you like
the beat, yeah.
And then
I made the beat.
And that was what got me into it.
And then you can make up
I'm
a
like,
melody up here. You
I
know?
can't even play music, and I'm playing music.
That's right.
And it snowballed from there.
Sure. And it's so much beyond that now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like what I just said I can do, you know, I never could have done then. You
Right.
know, the sounds just weren't there.
Well, I think we're running out of time.
Oh,
I know.
Hey, we were just getting
we
into
gotta
it.
do
it
part
felt
two.
like.
We were just getting started.
Okay, one last question.
Sure.
Okay, so in 1991, we made a movie called Wildos, which is this nonsensical movie, but we fell in love with the characters. And the opening of that movie starts with your song Fire Sticks.
Wow.
You remember that song?
Yeah, sure. It says at a time.
Yeah, exactly. But that song is so attached to our movie Wildos that would you consider renaming it the theme to Wildos?
Absolutely. It's probably a better name.
Rated PG. Now out on VHS cassette.
For in the echoes of David Arkenstone's melodies, Eric and Darrell discovered not just the Arkenstone, but a legacy of adventure, a call to the wild that lay in their hearts, an invitation to journey beyond the horizon, where every melody is a doorway to the unknown. Who knows where the notes will guide them next?